early 2022, some guy walks into a war room bunker in the war zone, in the heart of the war zone, in Ukraine versus Russia, in Kyiv. You would think they're going there to probably close the deal for more, naval warfare or like massive air warfare coming in. But no, this guy is some guy called Alex Karp. He's the CEO of Palantir. And he actually went to closing a very big deal for a software deal, just to examine and mobilize like drone footage to show where do you best place enemy targets and everything. So over the last 2 weeks, and I've been seeing this all over my TL, Palantir has been really reaping the stock market. And obviously, I had to look into it. I was just like...
I remember during the time when Wall Street Bets was in the mainstream, everyone just talk about how they all talk about investments in Palantir.
Everyone is just investing in Palantir. You should insert that car, Lord of the Rings, ball, the Palantir ball. Anyway, so I started looking into Palantir and I thought it was a very interesting company to look into. But more than just looking into Palantir as a company, I started looking into the traditional, war tech companies. What's the big deal? What's the big fuzz? There's companies like Foundry. There's companies like some guys called Shield AI that are really, really reaping right now. They're not being valued as traditional government contractors. They're being valued as...
They're not seen as Lockheed Martin.
They're not seen as Lockheed Martin. So basically, that caught my interest and I was like, hey, okay, let me start looking into Palantir and what's really, really big about them. So the first thing, obviously, I started looking at was their business model. So for context, Palantir has these two main platforms. It has one called Foundry and another called Gotham. So Foundry is both of Foundry and Gotham are data analysis platforms, basically taking a lot of data, a lot of big bunch.
Power BI, but with guns.
Basically Power BI with guns, or OP, Oracle on steroids or something of that sort. And it's actually funny because I had a conversation with a friend of mine who was asking me about all the efficiencies we're doing in fintech, because that's where I work. How it would really ripple into energy, because they're in the energy sector and they're telling me how a lot of information for them is very siloed. So it's very hard to make strategic calls over over what business decisions to make, because marketing has their own sort of data and they're keeping it themselves. You need to have 20,000 meetings to just kind of come up with good strategy. It would be way better. Now imagine this in a war zone as well. There's someone on the ground. There's military units that need to be deployed.
You're managing the fight.
You're managing the fight. You're managing strategy. You're managing risk. Exactly. You're managing the, especially on the risk aspect. Because, you miss it on the risk aspect, lives are involved. This is now the problem of war. So you can see already how data analysis platforms are really, really big for these guys. But now, again, to be able to efficiently run a lot of these tools, you need a resident data analyst in the military, obviously in the military regiment or something of that sort, and that is a heavy retraining course and everything like that. Now enter in the reason why I think Palantir has been reaping it in the stocks. They've done this thing called Palantir AI platform, AIP, which is basically let's call it private cloud for running your models on sensitive military data without it being exposed. I think it's basically an environment on top of now Gotham and Foundry. Gotham is their military data analysis platform that they sell to, government contractors and stuff. Foundry is the one for now commercial. So enterprises, for businesses that are very keen on having sensitive data for themselves. Now this platform, Palantir AIP, is kind of on top of those two. And you can imagine why it's pretty, pretty cool. Because now you can run your own custom LLMs on top of Palantir's products and securely, crunch that data in natural language. Now it just takes an army general to say, hey, given the current, data or given the current situation on the ground, what's the best strategy to maybe make an affront on this, or what's the best place to target the next missile or drone things. So in a nutshell, that's why one of the reasons why Palantir has been really, really killing it. They have a really cool product actually. But then again, traditional contractors, guys like Lockheed, guys like Raytheon, RTX, Boeing. So these guys are usually very interesting. They run a very waterfall like approach with the government. So they go to the government, and because of the capital, the relational capital as contractors they've earned over years, they go and close a contract to build something very specific. But they're very strong on the hardware stuff, right? Like, but now here's the thing: they will do like an F-45 or they'll like a missile over like 5-10 years.
300,
like,
is it like 300? How much?
Like it's usually 300 to the billions. Huh? For each like F-45 like fighter plane or something. I don't have the exact stats.
You can pull that. The price.
You can typically pull. So they rely on like very big one-off contracts, right?
Yeah.
And long-term service stroke support deals with very little recurring software revenue. But Palantir has been able to create this almost subscription like moat.
It's $8.2 million per F-35. So, with the help of our subscribers, I think we can definitely get one.
No, wait, what? You had an F-45?
I want one.
Don't even have a piloting license. Let's start there.
No. We start with the vehicle, and then we learn to drive.
Okay.
Yes.
So
commit some more crimes in.
So that's the first thing that I think I caught that had like a very big distinction between like the business model for most traditional warfare contractors versus like Palantir. Palantir, for them, the approach is they actually come with like an almost ready-made solution. They already have the tools out of the box.
Because it's data.
Anything that they're customizing is very little, right? As per the contract. And the dependency ratio for them is very heavy. For them to like be able to actually renew. That's actually like now the massive approach with the new government contractor types, the Andy Reels. Andy Reels will sell you like hardware, like drone technology and stuff like that. But they have this massive product add-on called Lattice. It's like their software. And it's the same with Shield AI and all these things. And most of the time, you'll find that they work together. Like Lattice is, like Andy Reel works very closely with Palantir to run like Lattice on a very secure Palantir AIP. You can get like, so now they easily subcontract each other when they're closing in a lot of these government contracts.
Okay, my question is, because we've known of Palantir for quite some time, like going on years back.
Yeah.
But now with the whole blowing up of AI, are there new entrants into the market?
Yes.
Because, I mean, sure, they've built a lot of data analysis modes with regards to their process, but what about the innovation that is AI? Has that brought about any new players that would challenge a Palantir?
Yes, it has. So I noted a couple of startups. There's one called Helsing, and there's also Shield AI. But most of these guys fundamentally build models that are tailored for military strategy, right? Like for a particular country, right? And you see, the reason why I don't think there's a one shoe fits all government contractor is that they can still run all those models on top of Palantir.
Oh, okay.
Like Palantir doesn't bend a lock you into like you have to use only, let's say, ChatGPT's models to build your military strategy. You can bring your own model and then just run it. It's like a secure cloud type thing.
I've just pictured a general. He's thinking as like, this is too much. Opens ChatGPT, drop nuke here on here.
yeah.
And then ChatGPT is like,
so
sell us.
Now, this is the reason I was telling you. It could already be killing lives.
Okay.
Think about it. So Ukraine uses Palantir's tech to optimize where to drop the nukes. Technically speaking, who's making the call?
It's still the person. Because in the same vein, they were using, I don't know if it's like whatever tool they were using, even if it's Excel, even if you're just drawing whatever your calculations on Excel, you still the distance still falls with you on the decision of strategy. So it might be improving your decisioning. It might be making it more accurate, more lethal. But in the end, I think it's still your decision.
Okay. Have you ever heard of this concept of a Janus face?
Mm.
Janus face, like where you have like two faces with extreme contradictions. So to allies, Palantir is amazing. Palantir is a contractor that you want, but it's a private company, can be contracted with multiple jurisdictions. As it is right now, as it stands, Palantir contracts with the US government, it contracts with NATO, it contracts with the UK now. I think they have like a 3-year project going on. So, it's there for anyone's bidder.
It is.
So,
it is.
Where does it stand ethically, in your opinion, as a government contractor enabling more efficient, software tooling for people to kill each other more efficiently?
I'd say it is amoral in that it is neither good nor bad. In the same way, we don't think of Glocks and M16s and try to wonder, are they ethical or not? Are they ethical or not?
Some people do, though. Some people do. But
perhaps we'll have him on our show, another discussion. But from where I stand,
gun control.
If Jeep sells its cars to the military, do we say it's immoral?
So for you, it's business.
I don't see how they are that different unless they themselves are making those decisions with regards to strategy and all that, which again I see them just as a tool as much as any other company.
So a lot of these companies, these new age government contractors, front themselves as they try to make the moral case that they push for their business with only democratic governments because they believe democratic governments need to stay ahead. They need to have advanced tech over their more authoritative adversaries. So
that's on them. That is a strategic decision on the business.
So that's as long as they're falling under the knife where they're either making or losing money because of that decision.
We talk about war,
yes.
A situation where there has to be a winner and a loser. In most cases, you both lose, but someone has to still come out on top. So everyone is looking for the advantage.
Interesting. Well, Palantir is a very interesting stock. But just for full disclosure, I'm now invested in it. So yeah, I'm buying the bull.
You're buying the dip.
No,
you're riding heights.
So right now I'm riding the bull.
Fair enough.